by a score.
Van Nordheim was a coach at Mullen during the 1950s. He is the gentleman who is largely responsible for this beautiful football field. He's also responsible for taking out an awful lot of sandburrs out of it. I'd also like to personally welcome back to Mullen Mr. Justin McBride from Elk City, Oklahoma. Justin recently finished 7th in the world in the PBR. So welcome Mr. Van Nordheim. Welcome back Justin McBride.
Hey, you ain't gonna start doing this. Are you?
We'd also like to welcome Ed Aarons here.
Hey, I got control of both.
Welcome to the quarterfinals of the D2 football playoffs. Tonight's game between the Cody-Kilgore Cowboys and the Mullen Broncos. Introducing the starting lineup first for Cody-Kilgore. Number 10, Eric Johnson, 165-pound senior. Number 20, John Lochterman, 170-pound sophomore. Number 29, Cade Bettiner, 165-pound freshman. Number 32, Lane Ford, 160-pound senior. Number 35, Lee Snyder, 170-pound senior. Number 44, Brent Mallet, a 200-pound junior. Number 53, Cal Miller, 190-pound senior. And number 89, Trent Fisher, 190-pound sophomore. Head coach of Cody-Kilgore is Duquan, is assisted by Tim Mallet. Introducing the starting offensive lineup for Mullen. Starting at quarterback, number 13, Travis Young, 165-pound junior. Added in, number 20, Taylor Spencer, 170-pound sophomore. At the I-back, number 21, Stephen Dent, 160-pound sophomore. At the fullback, number 33, Zach Reniger, 190-pound junior. At a guard, number 63, Travis Cooley, a 210-pound junior. The other guard is number 64, David Gray, a 285-pound junior. The starting center for Mullen is number 72, Anthony Dagler, a 240-pound junior. Added in number 81, Ben Keneally, a 190-pound senior. Head coach of Mullen is Mike Brown. He's assisted by Mitch Pfeiffer and Dan Dost. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please rise as the Mullen High School Band, under the direction of Miss Angel Ilke, plays our Star Spangled Banner.
Cody-Kilgore Cowboys getting ready to start this ball game off against the Mullen Broncos. The Cowboys will start as they have in the past few games. Quarterback Ben Osborne. The running backs Lane Ford and Lee Snyder. The ends will be Eric Johnson, Tell Miller, guards Brent Nollett and Trent Fish, and the center will be Andrew Fullerton. As we start the ball game, the Cowboys will be kicking off, and Cade McKeener teams the football at the 30-yard line on just a perfect night for football, Mike.
Well, you can't get any better than this for as late in the season as it is. You're talking about the 11th day, Veterans Day, and a football game. No snow around here right now and no wind to speak of tonight at the ball game. We're underway with the kickoff.
Stephen Dent back deep, picking it up at about the 7-yard line. Tries a middle return and is tripped up at the 15-yard line on a good tackle getting down there. Eric Johnson in a hurry, and the Cowboys will start from their own 15-yard line as we start this game here at Mullen.
Good coverage that time by the Cowboys as they came down there. They filled their lanes up properly. They kept him going to the middle of the field. Lane Ford was also in there on the stop along with Eric Johnson. So now 1st and 10 Broncos.
Travis Young backs in an eye. First man through has the football, and he's going to get a short gain of about 3 yards.
Right over the left guard they go. Eric Johnson comes to make the stop along.
Tackle is by number 44, Brent Nollett.
Cowboy lineman Fish is in there on
number 10, Eric Johnson.
Trent Fish on the defense.
Second down,
Good strong
7.
run that time by the fullback, brings up 2nd and long.
Zach Reniger, the fullback, gains 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7. The back's in the eye again, right directly behind Young. This time it's a pitch to Dent, and he has a little more running room, breaks a couple of tackles. Cowboys had him wrapped up at about the 20, but he fought all the way across the 25 to the 27 for first down yardage.
Dent just as soft.
First down, Mullen.
And he was hit pretty good around the knees at about the 24-yard line, dove ahead across the 25 to get the first down, and a good hard run as he cut back from left to right and against the grain.
1st and 10 from the 27-yard line. Young has them out now, and this is another give. This time Dent fighting his way across the 30, and just barely across the 30 by wrapped up in there by, I believe it's number 89, Trent Fish leading that way.
Lee Snyder was also there on the stop.
Second down.
He tried that left tackle, and there just wasn't a hole there. The Mullen offensive line didn't get anything opened up for him, and he ran to the hole, but when he got there, there was a bunch of black shirts and a bunch of white shirts there.
Bad news for this side of the state as the Broncos start only one senior. On 2nd and 7, a quick handoff to up the middle to Dent, and Dent's out to the 35-yard line. As Tell Miller is there, and Nollett is there, and Johnson. But, he's going to be about 1.5 yards, 2 yards short of the first down, out to the 35-yard line. They need to get to about the 37. So it's just a power run football so far for the Broncos here.
Zach Renninger at a fullback in there, 190-pound running back, and as you said, Dave, an underclassman at a junior. Got a good backfield here behind the quarterback.
Here's a pitch. Young on a sweep to the right side, cuts back inside, wrapped up at about the line, but falls forward close to first down yardage. Tackle made by Lee Snyder, and it's going to be very close to the first down yardage. He got a very good spot as he falls forward to about the 36.5-yard line, and I think it's going to be very close on this measurement.
That was good backside pursuit by the Cowboys that time as Lee Snyder came across the right side of the line, had to run him down from behind. Renninger had a pretty decent block on the left defensive end over there, and we thought that Dent was going to open that one up a little bit, but Snyder
short by about 2 inches, and so the Broncos at their own 37, and they need 2 inches. And without power running game, I don't think Coach Mike Brown's going to be hesitant here. Even though they're on their side of the 40-yard line, they're going to go for it. 4th down and about 2 inches.
Big play here for the Broncos, moving right to left here as we describe the action.
Travis Young.
Everybody up there on the line, it looks like they'll have one guy kind of at a linebacker, but the rest of the 7 Cowboys are up underneath.
Travis Young, quarterback's keeper, and I believe, well, he might have got enough forward progress. He didn't get much. Boy, the Cowboys laid him back.
The Cowboys played that one.
Yep. They're going to give him the first down as they get him to the 37-yard line, but the Cowboys piled him up at the line of scrimmage, but when you only need 2 inches, well, now they're going to measure. They signaled a first down, and they've changed their minds. They are going to bring the stakes across, but I do believe he has the first down. Well, no, now they're going to give them the first down, as they'd already moved the chain, so they were unable to measure.
He needed inches, and he got maybe a foot or a foot and a half out of that, so it is a Bronco first down.
Here's Young on the sweet pitch to Dent, and he won't go down. He's only a 160-pound sophomore, but Cowboys are bouncing off of him all over the place as he gets about 5 yards.
Finally making the stop is Brent Nollet, who comes up after the gain of 5, but that was a
Gain of 5, second down 5.
Danny in there, just kept banging around on things, kept his head trying to move it upfield.
Boy,
kept his legs going and gained 5.
if you're a bull rider, you got to be tough, and Steven Dent's showing it here early on. Second down and 5 from the Cowboys side of the 38-yard line. Reniger, the ball carrier on the fullback, and he's knocked down right about at the line of scrimmage. Very little gain there.
Looked like Tel Miller was one of the Cowboys that made the stop.
Stopped by number 89, Trent Fish, and number 53, Tel Miller.
A very short gain of about
Short gain, third down 5.
third and still about 5 yards to go. This Cowboy defense is kind of stiffening up around midfield.
Third down and 4.5 yards to go from the Cowboys' 38-yard line. They need the 33. Here's the pitch sweep to Dent, and he is tackled right at the line of scrimmage by Eric Johnson. A great defensive play coming up from his safety spot, and he knocks him down 4 yards short of the first down. They are on the Cowboy side of the football field, but it's a 4th down and 4, and they drop back to try to pin the Cowboys deep. And going back to punt now for the Broncos is Steven Dent, or no, 31 I believe it is, or 13. That's Travis Young.
Back deep for the Cowboys is Eric Johnson at about his own 10-yard line.
Low snap, but he gets it up and gets it out of there, and it's a boomer. Young's going to let it go into the end zone, so the Cowboys will start out on their first possession at the 15-yard line. There's no score here between the Cowboys and the Broncos as we're just underway with 8:07 to go in the first quarter in this quarterfinal game.
That kick from Young went about 45 yards in the air, hit right about the goal line, took a bounce on in and through the goal. So the Cowboys now are going to have it 1st and 10 at their own 15-yard line.
Osborne comes out at quarterback. His back's directly behind him. Here's his pitch sweep to Ford, and he is knocked down after a very short gain. Not much there as the Bronco defense made some great penetration. No gain on the play.
No gain.
The defensive lineup, Travis Young will be a safety, Taylor Spencer at linebacker, Stephen Dent at corner, Zach Reniger at a cornerback. Guards are Travis Cooley and David Cray. Defensive ends Anthony Deibler and Ben Keneally for the Broncos.
Second down and 10 for the Cowboys. Backs directly behind Osborne again. This is a pitch sweep to Ford on the left side. He's got a little running room, tries to cut it up, but not much there. Boy, the Bronco defense shut that down in a hurry as they showed some good speed to the outside as Ford was not able to get outside and gets a couple of yards to the 17.
Well, you know, Dave, this Mullen Bronco defense has 4 all-district players on it. So 4 of the 8 all-district players in this district come from the Mullen Broncos. They got to be proud of this defense.
Third down and 8. Osborne going back, looking for a receiver. Eric Johnson's out there, and the ball is tipped away at the last minute by Stephen Dent. Pass just a little bit underthrown, and the Cowboys now will be looking at a 4th down punting situation from deep in their own territory at the 17-yard line. Johnson was out there, but the pass, they just couldn't throw it far enough.
Had some double coverage to throw against there as well, and it looks like Johnson kind of got tied up a little bit, couldn't come back to the ball. A lot of times we'll see him judge that and then come back and field those lob passes.
There's the snap for the center, and Lee Snyder gets a booming punt. Coming down to Dent, he drops the football, tries to get back on it at the 25, and he does, but then the Cowboys swarm him under. So a great punt for Lee Snyder, and it pins the Broncos deep as Stephen Dent was unable to get a handle on it and fumbles it back to the 25, but he's able to get on the football before the Cowboys can corral him.
He had that one at about the 30, but it kind of bounced off his shoulder pads and got behind him there. He lost about 5 yards while he was recovering the football and then trying to figure out which direction to run with it.
Travis Young up under the center, power run formation again. Zeniger fumbles the football, and he gets back on it at the 27. So there's been the Broncos have put the ball on the ground a couple of times, but have been lucky enough to get right back on it. There's really no gain on that play as Zeniger coughed it up, but got back on it.
speaking of all-district players, Lane Ford out of Cody-Kilgore was named as a running back on the 2002 D2 District 8 football team. So he's going up against 4 of the top defensive players on that Mullen defense.
2nd and 10, again a power I formation. Zeniger again, this is a big hole off the right side, and he gets first down yardage all the way up to the 36. Little misdirection, and he popped outside, Mike, and no pursuit on the left side of that defensive front.
Lane Ford had to cut an angle and knocked him out of bounds at about the, I guess we're at about the 37-yard line or 36-yard line, but Lane Ford had an angle on him. He was about the second to the last guy that could going to be able to take a shot at him.
They were keen on Dent. Zeniger went the other way with it, gains 11. This time it's Dent right up the middle, and he is hit at the line of scrimmage by Lane Ford, and is cleaned up also in there by Trent Fish.
That offensive line up front by the Mullen and Deibler at the end, Ben Keneally there along with Taylor Spencer. They're trying to open up a little bit of hole. Denton and Renninger have some speed and some quickness. If they can pop into that hole there, the Cody defense is going to have to watch out up front. They're stacking it along the line. 2nd
down and 8, pitch to Dent, and he doesn't see anybody until he gets 5 yards beyond the line of scrimmage, and he is close to first down yardage.
Tackles by number 44, Brent Nollet.
Mess things up in the backfield. Trent Fish shot through there like
timeout to measure.
But he was just not able to get a hand on there. That's one thing that Coach Juan told us before the game. They wanted to try to get into the Mullen backfield, and if they can mess up the timing back there and give the rest of the Cody defense a chance to get into position, they'll be in good shape. Overall, speed on that Cody defense is pretty quick.
They measure for the first down, and he has it by about the half the length of the football. So the Broncos with another first down and playing ball control here in the first half, but still no score with 5 minutes, 30 seconds to go in the first quarter. Travis Young, power run formation, first down at the Cowboy 34. Now he looks for somebody in the secondary, and the pass is incomplete. Pass was intended for Taylor Spencer. Coverage pretty good back there that time by Logterman, and also number 26 for the Cowboys, Reed Ford.
They had good coverage on him there, and Spencer laid himself out about the 15-yard line trying to make that catch, but it hung up in the air quite a long time, gave the defense a chance to get into position there. But first pass we've seen out of Young and the Broncos so far.
Broncos 2nd and 10 from the Cowboy 33. Pitch sweep to Dent, cuts it back inside, and is hit at about the 30-yard line. It's a short gain, but the Cowboys there shut him down. Logterman gets up at the bottom of the pile. There's a gain of about 3 or 4 yards on the play. We'll call it 3rd down and about 7.
3rd down.
7 for this team. Stephen Dent, by the way, is one of the all-district players on offense as a running back. He's back there in the all-district team with Lane Ford in the backfield.
Young up under center on 3rd and 6. Pitch sweep to Dent, and he's got a couple of yards before Eric Johnson comes up, knocks him down, and he's helped by John Logterman. And the Cowboys trying to make some penetration because they were in that backfield in a hurry, taking on the fullback who was trying to block, and that kind of fouled that play up. Now it's 4th and 4, but they're operating inside the Cowboy 29-yard line, so they're going to go for it as they consider it 4-down territory.
4:13 to go first quarter.
Young on 4th and 4 looks for a receiver, and he's sacked. No, he gets away. Then he lets it go complete.
And it's out of bounds inside the 15-yard line.
He was dead to rights as one of the Cowboys had him wrapped up, and he let him go and didn't get the sack.
Well, the Cowboys coming in on that blitz there had him wrapped up almost in the backfield, kind of high and around the shoulders. Mullen did a great job of keeping his feet, just kind of ducked his shoulders underneath the would-be tackle, escaped and got the pass down to number 80.
And if that sounded confusing, it was. First down at the 15, inside handoff to Renninger, and not much gain there as the Cowboys pile it up, and then a late flag comes in.
First flag of the ball game at 3:55 to go.
Face mask against the Cowboys comes in late.
Well, they were in a big pile in there, and that's a lot of times where you're going to see that face mask come. Somebody inadvertently grabs it in the pile, and it's going to be the first penalty of the ball game, and it'll be a costly one for the Cowboys here. It's going to give the Broncos a little more momentum toward the end zone here.
So it will be a penalty of 5 yards, putting the football to the 10-yard line. So the Broncos now in great field position with a 1st and 5 at the Cowboy 10-yard line. Travis Young sets him down in the power run formation. Pitch sweep to Dent, looking for a hole, not much there. Lane Ford takes him on at about the line of scrimmage, and he falls forward for a couple of yards.
Good play on that one. He was hit by Renninger coming up from the fullback position. Renninger didn't get him taken out of the play, and Ford just fought him off and then stepped around him and made that play, shutting it down in there. But it's still going to be 2nd down and very short yardage.
Boy, what a difference that play. Travis Young was wrapped up for the sack, and instead of going down, Young shakes it and completes the pass, and now the Broncos at the 8-yard line. Renninger on the handoff this time by Young, and there's not much there. They get down close to the 6 or 7-yard line. Call it the 6, but it's going to be 3rd down and 1, and they did receive 5 of those 1st down yards via the Cowboy penalty.
Looked like that time on the stop was John Lagerman and then Jerry Mooney that stepped in there on that defensive right side of the line. Under 3 minutes to go in the ball game. Broncos are up on the ball.
The Broncos trying to get on the scoreboard first from the 6-yard line. 3rd and a yard. Dent with the ball, and he's racked up at about the 5. It's going to be enough, I believe, for the 1st down, and it will be 1st and goal if that's the case, and there's the official giving the signal.
Cowboys tacklers were in there on that one. They had a good surge on that to get people around the ball, but with the leg power that the running backs from Mullen are showing right now, they were able to power that one ahead for the 1st down, and now we're looking at 1st and goal.
Just inside the 5-yard line. Young this time fakes on a naked bootleg, and he's going to get into the end zone all alone, untouched. And he faked into the middle, and a naked bootleg by the quarterback. Young puts the Broncos on the scoreboard first on a, we'll call it a 5-yard run on 1st down. So the Broncos get on the scoreboard with 2:24 here to go in the 1st quarter.
Good call that time by Coach Brown on the sidelines. They've been going to their running backs all the time. They sent them to the right, fake to them, and then just make a bootleg Young out to the left side, and he just sprinted to the corner of the end zone.
On the 2-point conversion, Dent with the football, and he just gets it in. He was nailed at about the line of scrimmage, but falls forward and just barely gets the football across in the hands of Trent Fish. So there's timeout on the field with 2:24 to go in the 1st quarter. The Broncos lead the Cowboys 8-0. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Well, the Mullen Broncos lead it 8-0 on the first score of the evening as they get a big break on what looked like a sack by the Cowboys, but instead somehow Travis Young got away and then looked downfield and completed a 4th down pass. Well, that might be one of the biggest plays of this football game, Mike.
It certainly has been here in the 1st quarter, and one thing we know about the Cowboys is they don't let things like that bother them. They shake off the penalties, they shake off the plays that could have been, and they go on and play.
Lane Ford is back deep, and he comes up to get it at about the 10 to the 15. Breaks up field into the open, the 25, the 35. He's gone. Lane Ford, touchdown.
Lane Ford did a great job, and he got a block on the outside.
Ford runs the kickoff back for a touchdown.
And he just walked around that one and then sprinted the tightrope down the sideline. And where did he take off with that one?
At the 10-yard line, Mike. So it's a 70-yard kickoff return for a touchdown. Lane Ford shown some of the great speed that the Cowboy team has. And just that quickly now, it's 8-6 as the Cowboys line up with 4 wideouts, shotgun formation for the 2-point conversion attempt. Eric Johnson gets it, looks for a receiver, throws into the end zone, and it's incomplete as Eric Johnson could not get it to Tell Miller. So there's timeout on the field now with 2:14 to go in the 1st quarter. As the Cowboys strike back, it's now the Broncos 8 and the Cowboys 6. I'll be back in 30 seconds.
seconds.
Well, the Broncos drive about 55 yards for a TD, most of it on the ground. The Cowboys strike back with a 70-yard kickoff return for a touchdown as Cade Vakeener gets ready to kick off to Stephen Dent. Off to the right side, it's going to be picked up by one of the up men, Reniger, at the 17-yard line. He returns it up to the 27 for the 10-yard return. He's knocked down in there by the Cowboys, Lee Snyder and Lane Ford.
It took only 10 seconds for Cody to strike back on that kickoff return. Now it's an 8-6 ball game. Give credit to the Mullen running backs here. You watch them. They square their shoulders up. They run up and down the field. They don't try to get sideways. They'll try to take you on if you come up.
Here's a pitch play to Dent on the right side, and he's going to have 4 or 5 yards. He gets across the 30 to about the 32-yard line. Tell Miller and Trent Fish up off that end of the pile, as well as number 44, which of course is Brent Nollet. Gain of 4, second down and 6. Ball at about the 32-yard line.
Look at this Cody defense. They're going to have 4 guys on the front. They're going to put 2 linebackers up there just a couple of yards off the line of scrimmage, showing blitz from both sides.
Young gives it to Dent. He cuts back inside, finds a little room, and he doesn't need much. He squirts up to the 35-yard line for a gain of about 3 yards.
Third down and short yardage now, just 2 or 3. They hit the ball at the 35-yard line. Mullen offensive line up front is getting some holes to start with. Those linebackers for Cody that time got caught up on the line of scrimmage looking to go for the blitz.
210, 240, and 285 on that front line for the Broncos. Here's a quick give to Dent. Dent will have the first down up to midfield before he's wrapped up by number 66, which is Jerry Mooney, one of the injured players at 260 for the Cowboys and a sophomore. Good to see him in action again after being injured most of the season.
I'm sure the Cowboys are thankful to get a big guy like that back, because you miss him on that offensive defensive line. He's been playing defense here the last couple of games, and here come the Broncos up on 1st and 10 now at the 40.
Midfield stripe for the Broncos. Young up under center, keeps it on another naked bootleg, and the Cowboys are going to shut this one down after a gain of about 5.
Lane Ford stop on that one. He's going to gain 4 on the play, it looks like.
He faked it to Zeniger, I believe. 2 people tackled Zeniger, but he didn't have the ball.
It wasn't a fake where you put the ball in and take it out. That was just a hand fake into Renninger in the backfield, because he took the ball out, laid it on his left hip, put the hand fake in, and then sprinted out.
2nd and 5, Young. Well, the whistle stops play, penalty flag before the play is underway, and this is usually some kind of a procedure call unless the Cowboys lined up in the neutral zone. And that's what they're saying.
Second penalty of the ball game, and it goes against the Cowboys, lining up off sides on the defensive side of the ball, and that's going to give them 2nd down and about a foot.
Second down, 6.
So instead of 2nd down and nearly 6 now, we call it 2nd down and a short yard, as the Broncos are again in Cowboy territory at about the 30-yard line. They need to get just inside that. And here comes Dent, breaking into the open. It's touchdown. That quick.
Cowboys may have over-pursued on that just a little bit.
It was a pitch sweep to the right side, and he cut back against the grain. Cowboys over-pursuing, left nobody on the back side, and he goes in from the 30-yard line, I believe, for a 30-yard run by Stephen Dent, and he is quick.
So far, the Cowboys have been able to kind of keep him inside where they had some help. That time, when he got past the line of scrimmage, nobody was there.
Here's Young on a sweep, trying to get in. He fumbles the football, but falls back on it, but he's short of the goal line. So the Cowboys able to keep him out. And now with 28 seconds to go here in the first quarter, our score is the Broncos 14 and the Cowboys 6. We'll be back with the Bronco kickoff right after this 30-second timeout.
Coming out from Mullen, number 63.
Well, the Mullen Broncos' power running game has really crippled the Cowboy defense, as the Cowboys just have not been able to stop it. And now I don't know whether the Broncos will try to kick to Lane Ford or not. No, they squib it short. It's going to be picked up by Lane Ford at the 13. Look, and then he fumbles it trying to pick it up. I believe who got back on it?
Well, he had a shot at it, but also there was
recovered by number 32, Lane Ford. First down, Cody-Kilgore.
Lane
may have taken his eyes off the ball for a moment, trying to see where the defenders were coming down, and bobbled that a bit, but he does get back on top of it.
The Cowboys at their own 17, call it the 17.5-yard line. The Cowboys still looking for their initial first down of the ball game. Here's a give to, I believe it's Snyder right up the middle, and he's only going to have a yard, maybe two.
Stopped by number 63, Travis Cooley, and number 64, David Gray.
For the Broncos, they're going to give him a gain of about 2 to bring up
Gain of 2, second down, and
but
8.
not a lot of running room inside there. Those offensive linemen are going to have to get out past the line of scrimmage and get those linebackers.
Lane Ford was that ball carrier, gets about 2. It's 2nd and 8 now as the first quarter comes to a close with the Broncos on top of the Cowboys 14-6. We'll be back with the second quarter of action right after this 60-second timeout. On the 2nd and 8, a fake reverse. Lane Ford carries the football up across the 25 to about the 26-yard line.
Travis Cooley.
That play work a couple of big times last week for the Cowboys as they played Colbert there. They'd run the reverse or they'd run the fake reverse out of it. And with Lane Ford and Eric Johnson back there, both of them are very dangerous runners and a lot of quickness.
The knee touchdown back at the 24, so not a good spot. 3rd and 3 now, facing the Cowboys at their 24, and they need to get to the 27-yard line as Osborne sets them back directly behind him, fakes into the middle, looks for a receiver. Man is open. Snyder has it at the 30, to the 35, and out of bounds at the 37-yard line. And the Cowboys get their first down of the ball game.
21, Stephen Dent. First down, Cody-Kilgore.
8-yard line, 37.5-yard line actually. That's one thing that worried Coach Mike Brown when I talked to him before the game, was he said if Cody comes out and works that play action pass against them, they could be in trouble. There's the first sign of it tonight by the Cowboys.
37-yard line is the line of scrimmage. Back split this time for Osborne. And there's a penalty flag thrown before the snap. And there was either motion or somebody lined up off sides.
I'm not sure if Cody was set long enough to get down there. It was kind of a quick count. I don't think everybody was set, but we'll wait and see.
No, I believe the Broncos are going to back up.
Right, offside this time on the Bronco defense.
The Broncos a little bit eager, and this puts the Cowboys into Bronco territory for the first time with their offense.
First down, 5.
Crowd here. We've got a great delegation.
Boy, I tell you, there's a
fans and Mullen. There's got to be more people here at this ball game than live in the two towns.
There's 200 or 300 fans across the way, and we can't see on this side. 1st and 5 from the Mullen 37. Lee Snyder with the carry, and boy, they closed in a hurry. And there's that Stephen Dent again. They got to put up with him for a couple of more years in this league, as he's just a sophomore.
Yeah, as you mentioned earlier, Dave, this is a
loss on the play, second down.
Broncos. Cody, on the other hand of things, I think they've got some guys that are going to be coming back for them. They'll lose some key players like Eric Johnson out of there. But a lot of their guys, Lane Ford, Lee Schneider will graduate as well, but they got a good nucleus to come back next year.
No gain, 2nd and 5. Here's a pitch sweep to Ford, trying to get outside, and does. Cuts back in and is close to the 35, but he's going to be short of the first down by 2 or 3 yards.
Tackle by number 20, Taylor Spencer.
Go ahead and put the ball down. Yeah, it'll be right at 35, so it will be about
3rd and 3.
He gained about 25 yards, but it was all towards the sideline as the Bronco defense pursued very well and closed the gap. And it's 3rd down and about 2.5 yards. The Broncos working at, or the Cowboys working at the Bronco 35. Give right up the middle to Ford, and Ford puts his head down, and he's going to be very close but short, I believe, of the first down.
Number 64 to the tray.
but it doesn't look like it's going to be the first down.
4th down and a yard.
Travis Cooley was one of the guys in on the stop. 210-pound junior in there. A couple of big guys up.
And the Cowboys are going to go for it at the Bronco 34. 4th and a yard. So here's another big play in the ball game. Eric Johnson, the quarterback, is up under center this time. Goes back on a sweep play, cuts back in, and I believe he'll have the first down close to the 31-yard line.
Tackle by number 64, David Cray. First down, Cody.
For the Cowboys. And that time they used the speed of Eric Johnson, a quarterback, on just a keeper for the quarterback around the right side.
He gets to the 31-yard line, and the Cowboys continue the drive at the Bronco 31-yard line. Osborne brings the play in.
9:19 to go in the first half. It's 14-6. Mullen with the lead. One wide receiver now for the Cowboys.
Single setback is Ford. He has the football and a lot of running room. He's to the 25, the 20, the 15-yard line, and run out of bounds about the 13.
Well, I'd hate to see a matchup between Lane Ford and Stephen Dent there, because Dent runs him out of bounds there inside the 15-yard line. Lane Ford did an outstanding job of keeping his balance. He outran one defender around the left side, got tripped up, put his hand down on the ground and kept his balance, gained another 10 yards after that. So Lane Ford with a big play that time for the Cowboys.
They run him out of bounds at the 13-yard line. It's 1st and 10 for the Cowboys, trailing at 14-6. Back split this time for Osborne. Up under center, goes back looking for a receiver. Tell Miller is out there, so is the football, and it's intercepted at the goal line.
Pass was intercepted by number 21, Stephen Dent.
He reached up with that left hand, pulled the ball, hung onto it as he hit the
Mullen.
ground, and it's going to be a turnover against the Cowboys at about the 2.5-yard line there, where Mullen will take over.
Tell Miller, I believe, also got a hand on it, tipped it, and coming down with it is Stephen Dent on an interception at the 2-yard line. So the Cowboys, with a new set of downs at the 13, get turned away on the turnover. Travis Young in the power run formation come out now at the 2-yard line, turn, give to Dent. Dent struggles out to across the 5, maybe the 6-yard line.
Mullen's going to have to rely on those guys up front to get him a little breathing room there. Cooley, Craig,
Tackle is by number 44, Brent
those
Mullen.
guys on that line are going to have to give him some breathing room.
5,
Got about
second
5
down
yards now.
and
A little
5.
bit of room to work with 8.5 minutes to go in the first half.
He gets up to the 7-yard line where it's 2nd down and 5. Travis Young up under center again in the power run formation. This time it's Dent off the other side, and he's going to have pretty close to the 10-yard line.
Tackle by number 44, Brent Mullen.
Controlling the line of scrimmage yet.
3rd down and
Defensive
3.
line, Cody is holding pretty good. The offensive line hasn't been able to move him out of there consistently. This is going to be a battle through the rest of this ball game of who's going to win in there in the trenches.
3rd down and about 2.5. Here's a big play for both teams. Broncos don't want to have to punt from their end zone. Young up under center, pitch sweep to Dent, and Dent is going to have the first down or be very close to it. I think he's got it out at about the 14-yard line. It is a first down.
Tackle is by number 89,
Mark it
Trent
down
Fish.
out there.
First down, Mullen.
Where do we go? The 13-yard line, 14-yard line actually. And it is going to be a first down as he stretched out and got what he needed for the first down. 7:42 and counting in the first half. It's 14-6 Mullen as they break the huddle.
Stephen Dent gives them the first down, and that's a big one for him at the 14-yard line. Young this time fakes it to Dent, naked bootleg, and he's got running room. Young up across the 20 to the 22-yard line for a gain of about 8 or 9 yards.
Lagerman coming over to make the stop. Lee Schneider,
Tackle is by number 35, Lee Schneider.
Cowboys, and Schneider's going to go over to the sideline. He's shaken up a little bit there. Might have crinked his neck a little bit on that tackle.
Cowboys unable to stop the power running game in this first half, Mike, as the Broncos lead it 14-6. 2nd down and a long yard. They give to Dent coming up the middle off the right side of the line. He has the first down out across the 25 to the 27-yard line.
Redinger, the ball carrier.
First down,
And
Mullen.
also coming up for the Cowboys that time to help make the stop was Cade Bikiner in there on defense. And now Cody turns. They want to take a timeout. Mullen picks up first and 10.
1st and 10 at the 28. We'll be back with more Cowboy and Bronco football after this 30-second timeout.
St. Mary's 46, Sergeant 0.
Well, we're kind of in the final weeks of the football season. The D2-8 quarterfinal game here at Mullen. Of course, both of these football teams have to be very well coached and very well disciplined to get this far into the season, Mike.
We have to give Cody a lot of credit because they had to fight back through some adversity. The last time they played Mullen, they were a little short-handed. A couple of their guys, their starters that were on the injured list, they fought back, worked through those injuries. They kept coming back, and now they've won 3 games in a row, ready to go here against the Broncos.
1st and 10 for the Broncos at the 27. A fake again, and Young has the football. He's in the open, and he gets another first down out at the midfield stripe and down into Cowboy territory at the 37. So everybody looking for Dent, and now Young keeping the football and getting some big yardage for Travis Young, a 165-pound junior for the Broncos.
It looked like Young was going to break that one. Eric Johnson made him cut back in, and then he was run down from behind by Lagerman and Ford to put the whap on him, but not till after a first down.
First down at the Cowboy 37. Pitch sweep to Dent. He's looking for some running room. Not much there this time, as the Cowboy defense led by, I believe, Eric Johnson shuts him down after one of his shorter gains of the first half of only about 2 yards.
You know, when the Cowboys
Second down.
really watching Stephen Dent. Then Reniger broke one. Now Young has been in the running game. So that 3-prong attack, the Cowboys got to respect everything.
2nd down and 8 from the Cowboy 35. Travis Young. Long snap this time. Reniger with the football. He's met right at the line of scrimmage for very little gain.
Lagerman and Bettiner were in there, both of them making a good time.
Tell Miller met him in the hole too, Mike. Tell Miller shuts him down after a gain of about a half a yard. So now a 3rd and long situation. The Broncos have not had many 3rd and longs. They got about 7 yards to go, operating from the Cowboy 34-yard line.
And again, the Cowboys are going to stack it up around the line of scrimmage.
Going back to pass is Young, looking downfield. Man is out there. He's got it. No, he drops the football.
Pass intended for Spencer is incomplete.
The pass that time was intended for Spencer. Kind of laid out again, but couldn't bring it in. And he had about 5 yards on the Cody defense that time. If he would have been able to straighten up downfield and make the catch, he's gone for 6.
It looked like from this angle, it was on the far side of the field. It looked like he had made the catch, but he did not. He got both hands on it.
Time to punt now for Mullen.
Travis Young is back. And it rolls between his legs. He's going to kick it up and pick it up for a completion, but I'll tell you what, Lane Ford nails him back at the 34.
Is that Lane Ford?
Oh, no, that's Cade Vakeener, number 29.
And Steve Dent was slow getting up that time. The punter, Young, got the errant snap, picked it up, and that was Stephen Dent, and before he even had a chance to turn upfield, Cade Vakeener put an open field tackle on him that the NFL highlight film would be proud of.
Well, the Cowboys have the football. First down now at the Bronco 34-yard line as that snap from center rolled all the way. Osborne, quick give to Snyder up the middle, and I'll tell you what, that defensive front of the Broncos give him absolutely nothing.
Well, that defense.
Stopped in the middle by number 64, David Clay.
Renninger is up.
One.
Again as a linebacker.
2nd down, 9.
There, and Spencer at linebacker. These defensive front lines are getting a good workout tonight. Got 1 yard on that one.
2nd down and 9 from the 33-yard line. Osborne has the back set directly behind him this time and goes back looking for a receiver. Trying to set up a screen. A penalty flag is thrown. He fumbles the football, and the whistle had blown, so the play is dead.
They had him down back there, and
this is going to be one of those inadvertent whistles which is going to stop the play. Otherwise, the Broncos had a touchdown.
Well, it was number 72, Anthony Deibler. Got the ball up, had nothing but daylight to the end zone, but they called him down, and it's a holding call against the Cowboys that time.
Boy, a lot of bad things happening as Osborne gets taken down back at the 29 for about a 15-yard loss. The holding penalty will be declined, so the Cowboys will be looking at a 3rd down down and 20, about 26 yards back at their own 29-yard line. So that play, they tried to set up a screen. The Broncos were all over it. Osborne had to eat the football.
3rd down and a mile to go for the Cowboys.
Osborne fakes, looks for a receiver. Snyder is out there, and it's overthrown as a lot of pressure put on Osborne by Anthony Deibler, a 240-pound junior, was back in Osborne's face, and he just more or less had to throw that one away.
Osborne put that about the only place that he could with a chance for a receiver to catch it, and Taylor Spencer had good coverage on the fullback that time, and Schneider couldn't get to the football in time, but it falls harmlessly to the turf. Incomplete. Now a Cody punt.
4th down and 26. Snyder back to punt. There's a good snap. And there's the punt, and it's a good punt coming down to Dent at about the 25. He drops the football, but gets back on it.
Dent fumbles the catch and falls on it.
Stephen Dent was ready to go with that one. Had it went between his legs and dropped to the ground, and this time he just curled up on it. Didn't take a chance on getting hit and fumbling the ball.
If Stephen Dent has a flaw, it's catching the kick or the punt. He's dropped 2 or 3 of them here tonight.
I'll tell you what, you get a sophomore like that, a big state playoff game like this, you got to be a little bit nervous out there. It's got to be hard to try to field those punts coming down to you. And we got to remember, it's about 34, 35 degrees out there.
1st and 10 at the 21. Young to Dent. Breaks the tackle at the line of scrimmage and gets up to around the 26-yard line.
You know, most of the time we watch the Cody-Kilgore Cowboys.
Tackled by number 29.
Form tackling now. They come in there, they put their shoulder in there. They try to hit them square.
5, 2nd down and 5.
Both of these teams very sound fundamentally.
Yep, it's like trying to tackle a bull rider there. 2nd down and 4 for the Broncos now out at the 27-yard line. There's a fake on the pitch swing. Young cuts it back inside, gets all the way out to the 35-yard line. Hanging on for dear life by the jersey is Tell Miller. And the Cowboys having trouble stopping this triple threat of Young, Zeniger, and also Dent.
Well, I'll tell you what, that shows you the leg strength of the quarterback, Young. He's dragging a 190-pound anchor behind him, still gets 5 yards out of it.
1st and 10 at the Bronco 36-yard line. This time Reniger has the ball, and he breaks into the open and gets down into Cowboy territory all at the 30-yard line before Eric Johnson comes up and tackles him. Gain of 13.
Johnson
helps finish it.
13 on the play, 1st down, Mullen.
Just about had an ankle in the backfield to trip him up there. Reniger showed he could keep his balance, overstepped that, and went to the outside with it, picking up the 13-yard gain and a 1st down now across midfield.
Reniger with the big carry, and now the Broncos at the Cowboy 30-yard line. Young, pitch sweep to Dent, looking for running room, has some, cuts inside, breaks 2 tackles, gets all the way down to the 19-yard line.
And again over there, lane forward
Of 11 on the play.
for the Cowboys as they stop him, but he's got another 1st down.
Tackle was by number 10, Eric Johnson.
Broncos one at the line of scrimmage.
1st down,
They were 4
Mullen.
yards downfield off the ball that time.
From the 19-yard line, another Bronco 1st down, and the Broncos want to take a timeout. They lead it 14-6 over the Cowboys. 2:54 to go 2nd quarter. We'll be back in 60 seconds. The Broncos with the 1st down at the 19-yard line. Travis Young up under center, pitches to Dent. He looks for running room and has a little bit to about the 16-yard line as the Cowboys jammed that up pretty much at the line of scrimmage with a little bit better penetration on that left side.
Number 44,
Kind of stood things up at the line of scrimmage. There wasn't a hole there for Dent to run to on the right side. Kind of ran into the back of some of his own players.
3, second down, 7.
Ends up getting a couple yards out of it.
From the 16-yard line, second down and a long 7. As Dent really getting a lot of carries, and here he goes again, same play. This time John Logderman hangs on for a gain of about 3.
On the tackle.
And gain about 3 on that one, as you said, Dave, and Logderman makes the stop.
3rd down,
3.5 yards to go.
4.
Cowboys giving up a little bit of that ground on the running game. If we hit about 2 minutes to go, they want to keep the Broncos out of the end zone here in this first half.
From the 12-yard line now, 3rd down and about 3 yards to go. Here's a pitch sweep to Dent looking for running room, and he finds a little to about the 9. It's going to be real close to first down yardage.
Young comes over to the sideline to talk to Coach Mike Brown.
Looks like it's going to be short by about a half a yard. 4th down and a half a yard from about the 9.5. They need to get just inside the 8.
I wouldn't be surprised to see that bootleg again here with some misdirection.
Fake it to Dent and look for the naked bootleg has worked really well for Young. 4th down. This time it's a quick give to Dent. He breaks out into the open all along the outside and scores.
For the touchdown.
Run around the left side that time, stepping around one tackler by the Steve Dent, the sophomore, puts it into the end zone for the second time tonight for himself, and that's going to put it up 20-6 now. Mullen on top.
With just a minute 14 to go here in the first half now. The Broncos go up on top by a couple of touchdowns and looking for the 2-point conversion as they lead it 20-6.
Once again, we've spent most of the second quarter with defense. Now
here's Dent on the sweep, and he goes in as he breaks over pursuit again a little bit. He cuts back against the grain, goes in untouched, and the Broncos now asserting themselves and have taken a little bit of control of this one by a score of 22-6 with a $1:14 left to go here in the first half. We'll be back with the Bronco kickoff in 30 seconds. Yeah, did you remember to stay at full power, Zach? Yeah, a couple of mistakes against a very good Bronco team have them up by a couple of touchdowns. Here's a real short kick bouncing off one of the Cowboys up front at the 38-yard line. It's fallen on by Trent Fish, and the Cowboys will have excellent field position, and you can credit that to Lane Ford, as if he just put it there at the 37-yard line, because after that kickoff return for a touchdown, they do not want to give him another chance at it. So the Cowboys have excellent field position at the 37-yard line. Eric Johnson out wide to the near side. Single set back is Snyder. Going back, looking for a receiver. Throwing it out for Snyder, and it's out of bounds, incomplete.
Renninger back there on defense, was playing under Snyder just a little bit there, and they could see that one was going to go out. Snyder kind of watched the sideline and then just says, I'm not going to be able to get to that one, and goes sailing out of bounds. So second down and 10 yards to go now.
Still a minute 5 to go in the half, so the Cowboys trying to get their passing game going here. And their main receiver, number 10, Eric Johnson, is split wide to the near side of the field as Osborne looks for it, then gives it to Ford on a draw, and he runs into the official, and credit most of that tackle to the referee.
Tackle by number 33, Zach Renninger.
Bounce off and find some room. Couple of Bronco defenders closing in on him, and he hit the referee really twice during that play. Ends up with about a 4-yard gain out of it, but that could have went for a lot longer. they're going to use Eric Johnson as a decoy once in a while. If they send him out wide, it's going to keep the Bronco defense a little more honest, not able to play up around Lane Ford.
From the midfield stripe, 3rd down and about 6 for the Cowboys. Osborne, pitch sweep to Ford. He's hit in the backfield, gets away from one, and gets down to about the 37. And that's a 3-yard gain after contact, but it's going to bring up 4th down and still about 3 yards to go.
12 seconds, 11 seconds to go in the half. Mullen's going to take a timeout here, which is a break for Cody because they'd like to get it into the end zone if they can.
Well, they're looking at a 4th down and about 3 at the Bronco 37. Not sure whether they'll punt it away or try to get the 1st down. But either way, the Broncos take a timeout to make them decide. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
There's Moose. We'll hang out with him. Is that Cooney back there in the right?
Well, the power running game of the Broncos has dominated this first half as they put together 3 drives, and the Cowboys lead it 22-6 now as they go back to punt it away from the Bronco 37. And there it is. Lee Schneider will kick it away. The Broncos don't put anybody back deep, and the punt goes into the end zone with about 5 seconds to go in the first half, with the Broncos leading it 22-6. Actually should maybe only be a touchdown game, Mike, as the Cowboys turn it over inside the 5-yard line in this first half.
Yeah, I give a lot of credit to Steve Dent and his athleticism to bring that interception in near the goal line for Mullen. Otherwise, Cody was in scoring position there and may have finished that one off. Now Mullen has a shot, 5 seconds left to go. I think they'll probably take a knee here and go to the halftime locker room up 22-6.
5 seconds to go now as Travis Young brings them out in the power set formation again. He turns, pitches to Young, looking for a sweep on the left. Tell Miller has him zeroed in, but can't bring him down, and he gets out across the 20 to the 22. Eric Johnson and Longterman bring him down, or Cade Bikiner bring him down. But that ends the first half of this D2 quarterfinal game here in Mullen.
During the year for passing, 25 out of 45 for 448 yards. 10 of those have gone for touchdowns for the Mullen Broncos. Their leading tackler on defensive side of things, Taylor Spencer with 108 tackles, Stephen Dent with 82, Travis Cooley with 88 in those top 3. For the Cody-Kilgore Cowboys, of course, we see that as far as rushing goes, Lane Ford, 263 attempts, 1,391 yards, and about 5.3 yards per carry for Lane Ford. Lee Schneider, he's averaging about 3 yards per carry, 122 attempts, 359 yards. Osborne passing for Cody-Kilgore, 88 attempts, 36 completions, 7 interceptions, 555 yards, and 7 TDs in there as well. For pass receiving, Lee Schneider is the leading receiver in there with 14 for 141 yards. But when they go for the big play, it's Eric Johnson, 10 receptions, 295 yards, 4 touchdowns for that man. Lee Schneider averages about 32 yards punting, and Lane Ford averages about 5 yards per return. And kick returns for Lane Ford, he averages about 28 yards per return. We've seen that on that kickoff return by Lane in the first half. We are teeing it up, ready to go in the second half.
Number 63, Travis Cooley, getting ready to kick off to the Broncos. Cowboys will have it first. Eric Johnson is back deep this time, and they put Lane Ford up at about the 20-yard line.
That could be a dangerous thing to do for the Cowboys here as far as their offensive weapons. If they get the ball short kick to Lane Ford, he's got a shorter field to work with.
So we'll see what the Broncos' strategy is on the kickoff, as they've had One return for a TD, the only one the Cowboys were able to get on the board.
They're going to kick it to the left. It's down on the field. Cody's going to pick it up.
Logterman picks it up and returns it to about the 31-yard line.
Not a lot of room to work with there, but Logterman got the ball at about the 26, 27-yard line. He was able to pick his way through some heavy traffic across the 30 to the 31-yard line, and that's where Cody will set things up 1st and 10.
So the short kicks are giving the Cowboys a good field position, but they have to get their offense going. Eric Johnson wide out to the near side of the field now. Single setback is Ford. He has the football on the fake reverse, and he has some running room up to, well, he's run out of space. If he'd had a little more room to give him some speed to turn the corner, he just kind of ran out of sideline. It came to the short side of the field.
If he would have had a 60-yard field to work with rather than a 40-yard field, he might have been able to turn that one up around. But that fake reverse, it kind of freezes everybody momentarily because you have to respect the split end over there. Eric Johnson, he's got the sprinter speed if he gets the ball and goes the other way, and I'm sure that's what Cody's trying to set it up for later on.
He gets 3 yards on 2nd and 7. Ford coming off the left side, breaks into the secondary, runs out of bounds across midfield and into Bronco territory at let's see where they're going to spot it. Looks like at about the 36-yard line, so it is a first down on 2 Lane Ford runs as he gets into Bronco territory at the 35-yard line. And it's very important for the Cowboy offense to come out here and make a statement early on in this 3rd quarter as they now have it at the Bronco 35-yard line. Back sent behind him as Osborne goes back for a pass. Man is wide open. He has it at the 25, the 20, and down to the 19-yard line. Tell Miller didn't have anybody within 15 yards of him as somebody on the Bronco secondary blew some coverage.
Tell Miller lined up on the right-hand side of that line, and he just went all out there by himself. Nobody was watching him off the line of scrimmage. He floated off about 10, 15 yards downfield. Big first down now as Eric Johnson goes split to the left.
They spot him down at the 20, first down. Here's Ford on a pitch sweep, cuts back in against the grain, breaks tackles down to the 12-yard line.
Cowboys starting to open things up a little bit, spread it out a little bit, throw the pass in there. If they can get some play-action pass going like that last one, they're going to be right back in this ball game. Second down about 2 yards.
Well, the Cowboy offense has come out with a vengeance here. It's 2nd down and just about a yard as they are in big-time red zone at the 11-yard line already here early on here in the 3rd quarter. 2nd down and a yard, backs into power formation. Here's Ford with the football, breaking outside, breaking tackles. He'll have the first down at about the 7 or 8 yard line.
One of the Mullen Broncos had a hold of his jersey, but Lane kept his legs going, squared his shoulders upfield, drug him around behind him a little bit till he finally went out of bounds, but not till after Lane Ford got the first down. 1st and goal.
1st and goal, spot the football at the Broncos 7-yard line. Cowboys were down here earlier and were turned away by an interception. Here's a quick give to Snyder, breaks into the secondary, falls into the end zone.
That was a good misdirection. They sent Lane Ford to the right. They cut Lee Schneider to the left. They hand the ball over left tackle. He got tripped up at about the 5, but kept his legs going underneath him enough to dive in for the touchdown. Score for Cody-Kilgore.
So Lee Snyder and the Cowboy offense make a statement here early with a big drive, and now they go for the 2-point conversion with Eric Johnson in the shotgun formation. There's the snap, and there's a jump on the play as the Broncos jump into the neutral zone, so this will be half the distance to the goal, which won't be much of a penalty yards-wise.
This is a big, big score for the Cowboys to come out now, take their opening possession, put it into the end zone, and serve notice that they're not going to roll over here, and there's in for a good 22 minutes of the second half to go.
22-12, a 2-point conversion now going for the Cowboys. Eric Johnson with the football. Evades one man, gets to the corner, it's good. Eric Johnson showed some great speed there as he left the Bronco defense in his dust, and it's just a 1-touchdown ball game now as the Cowboys have climbed back in this one with 10:38 to go here in the 3rd quarter. We'll be back with the Cowboy kickoff right after this 30-second timeout.
Dave, that looked like the snap was a little bit high to Eric Johnson. Might have kind of thrown the defense off a little bit as he sprints to the right corner end zone.
Cade Vakiner on a little squib kick. It's we're going to recovered by the Broncos, but there was only one man that had a chance to get that football, and there was 5 Cody people around it, but number 50 able to come up with it as it looked like an onside kick attempt.
They got a good bounce on that one. You want to kick that ball where it takes a little bounce and takes maybe one short bounce and then hits again and goes high.
Michael Andrews saved the day for the Broncos at their 39-yard line where they have it 1st and 10. Power formation again, and there's a fumble on the first play as Young is back on it, but right now the Broncos putting it on the ground and they lose 3 yards.
Big defensive play there. It looked like John Logderman was back there and he couldn't quite get to it in time. It never really did get a good connection there, and Young ends up getting back on top of it after he dropped it onto the turf.
At halftime, the Cowboys had 2 goals, get their offense going and score and try to shut down the Bronco power running game. They're looking at 2nd and 13. Back to pass is Young. Looking out for a screen. He's got Dent at the 35. Cuts back to the 40 and is down to the Cowboy 39-yard line.
Making the stop, John Logderman again, making the guy go back inside, lane forward, cutting back into the middle of the field to keep him into the field of play there. And he's going to gain pretty good gain on the play, but it's still going to bring up 3rd down, about 7 yards to go.
About a gain of about 6 on the pass completion on the screen to the near side to Dent. So it brings up a big 3rd down and 7 facing the Broncos at the Cowboy 38-yard line. Power formation, Young. Little misdirection to Zeniger. He fumbles the football. Who got on it?
This one's going to be hard to unstack.
Nope.
Maybe Mullen.
Boy, I tell you what, the Broncos have coughed up the football 4 or 5 times, but have gotten back on every one of them. It's going to be a fumble by Reniger, but he's short of the 1st down.
One of the Cowboys stripped that ball from behind. I think maybe that was Nollet in there. Reached around behind the running back and kind of brought his hands down on the tackle, stripped the ball away, but Reniger was there to recover it from Mullen.
4th and a yard. The Broncos go for it at the Cowboy 33. Turn and give to Dent. Dent is hit at the line, and he's going to fall forward for it. Boy, some great second effort to give Dent the 1st down yardage as Logterman hit him at the line, but he falls forward to the 30 and gets the 1st down. So the Broncos with new life at the Cowboy 30-yard line.
Cade Vakiner came up to help out Logderman on that one, and it looked like they had him stopped maybe behind the line of scrimmage, but on second effort, Stephen Dent gets the 1st down.
Young, naked bootleg this time. Number 44, Brent Nollet stays home, drops him right at the line of scrimmage.
Good play there defensively by the left end. Brent Nollet, as you said, he stayed home. They tried that naked bootleg, and he had Young in his sights as soon as he turned and had the ball on the hip. So 2nd down and 10 yards to go now.
So the hat's off to the Cowboys coaching staff as they made some pretty good adjustments at halftime, but yet the Broncos still moving. 2nd down and 10, and then they move. This will cost them 5 yards.
And it's going to be against the left side of the line, and the Mullen Broncos appear to have jumped over there as the official signifies illegal procedure. 2nd penalty of the ball game against Mullen. Both of them have been 5-yarders.
With 8:04 to go in the 3rd quarter, the Broncos over on top of the Cowboys by a score of 22-14. They have the football at the Cowboy 35-yard line after the 5-yard penalty. Brings up 2nd down, 15 yards to go now as Travis Young sets the Broncos down and goes back, pitches it back to Dent. Dent tries to cut back inside, breaks the tackle, and he's a hard one to catch, but Lee Snyder finally wrapped him up after a gain of about 6.
He's going to get across the 30 down to about the 29-yard line where it's going to be 3rd and 9. But Stephen Dent, you give him a little time in that backfield, and I'll tell you what.
We have a penalty flag way on the far side, Mike, that I was unable to pick up. It's a holding penalty way back at the 37, and it's going against the Broncos, and the Cowboys will definitely take this one. It'll nullify Dent's 6-yard gain, and it'll be a 10-yard penalty, and it's a spot foul, so actually it comes out to be about a 13-yard penalty. So it's going to be 2nd down and almost 27 yards to go as they're back inside their own 33, and they need to get to the Cowboy 20. So it's 2nd down And Young brings him up on third and very long. Goes back, looks for a receiver, two sprinting down the field. Now he's getting pressure, gets away, still looking for a receiver, throws it as far as he can, and it's incomplete.
Boy, he had good scrambling ability back there. Two Cowboys had him in their sights. He's able to duck around them, still look downfield, and he threw that one long, intended for Taylor, I believe, at about the 15-yard line, and it goes over his hands, but it's incomplete. He did a great job of just avoiding the sack, and Taylor Spencer, the intended receiver, incomplete, but now third and about 27 to go for the Mullen Broncos.
Third down and 27. Broncos need a big play here from their own 33-yard line.
Taylor was actually open on that one earlier in the route, but he wasn't able to get.
Young goes back looking for a receiver again, throws down the middle, and it's going to be almost intercepted by Eric Johnson, but it'll still bring up a punt as it goes right through Eric Johnson's hands, but it's still a fourth down punt situation for the Mullen Broncos way back at their own 33-yard line.
Taylor Spencer, again, the intended receiver, right straight down the field. They threw that one a pretty good rope down to about the 20-yard line, and it fell between the hands of Eric Johnson, incomplete.
Here's the punt, and it's a dandy punt. Drives Eric Johnson back to the 12. He's back to the 15, to the 18, to the 20. Breaks a tackle to the 25, the 30, cuts back inside, and is drugged down at about the 36-yard line.
Boy, a great job of open field running.
He was
Johnson.
He was one step away from cutting back against the grain and scoring on that one. You can see why the Broncos do not want to kick to Lane Ford and Eric Johnson.
27-yard return on that one from the 10 out to the 37-yard line. Eric Johnson got hit a couple of times pretty solidly, but just bounced off of him and kept going to the outside, stretched it out for an extra yard at the end.
Osborne at the 37 gives right up the middle to Ford. Ford bulls his way to midfield, gain of about 4.
That was right straight, hard-nosed football. That's what Mullen's been trying to do to Cody.
David Cray, number 64, at the bottom of the pile.
Also, Taylor was in there on the stop coming up from a quarterback. Gain of 3.
Second down and about 6.5 yards to go. Cowboys trail it by just a touchdown, 22-14. They have the football near midfield at just their side of the 40-yard line.
Duke Wan looks pretty calm over there.
Second down, pitch play to Ford, cuts back into the middle, and he is down to the 35-yard line. And again, one man from the touchdown was Travis Young, and he made a good, sure tackle at the Bronco 35-yard line, where it's third down and 1.
He got him around the waist, and Young just kind of wrapped his hands all the way around him, almost grasped his hands behind him to make sure that he wasn't going to slip away.
Third down and a yard as Osborne sets him down, gives to Ford. Ford breaks into the secondary, gives a stiff arm to number 13, has the first down all the way down to the 21-yard line. And again, Travis Young, the only one to save the touchdown.
Young had an angle on him, and I'll tell you what, we've seen Lane Ford with that stiff arm before, and he just keeps scooting to the outside. This time, Young was strong enough. He grabbed up onto that arm and drug him down, but a big gain for the Cowboys and first down, getting deep into Mullen territory.
At the 22-yard line, another first down for the Cowboys. This time a fake. Osborne looking for a receiver, throws it, and it's going to be intercepted. Threw it up for grabs, and it's intercepted by Reniger.
Reniger picks it off at the 20-yard line, brings it back to about the 23-yard line, and that's a turnover against the Cowboys that hurts the drive, kills the drive right there when they were working their way down the field.
Well, that's a big play by the Bronco defense, and Osborne was getting a big rush by the Broncos, and he just kind of had to throw it up for grabs to try to avoid the big loss. Twice now they've tried to set up that screen, and it's been disastrous. The Broncos now with it, with the 23-yard line, pitching back to Dent. Dent gets up across the 25 to the 27-yard line.
Boy, Dave, if you watch the hitting going on out there on the field, not just on the tackles, but on the blocks, the defensive side of the guys trying to shuck the blocks and everything, this is a real physical ball game out there.
They're not mixing up anything. They're just downright hitting. It's a hard-hitting quarterfinal game here at Mullen. The Broncos lead it by 8 points here in the third quarter, 5 minutes to go. Second down and 5. Here's the naked bootleg again, and Young scrambles all the way to first down yardage. About 6 yards, gained up to the 34-yard line.
That time Young took the ball, spun around in the backfield, tried to fake that pitch. They might have more luck with that if they actually run that a little bit wider out. Instead of having him turn up field off the tackle or outside the tackle, try to follow both of those blockers, Reniger and Dent,
First,
the outside.
first and 10 at the Broncos 34. Here's a quick giver to Reniger, and Reniger is going to get to the 37 before he's brought down by Brent Nollett, number 44.
Nollett just kind of bulldogged him down there after a short gain on the play of about 3 yards. Second down now and about 7 yards to go. Broncos trying to crank up the running game here.
At the 37-yard line, second down and 7. Young comes out in the power I formation, and it's a pitch to Dent, and there's nobody over there. He breaks into the opening. Dent is going to score all the way from the 37-yard line, a 43-yard run. He runs right through a tackle, and there was nobody on that right side defensive front for the Cowboys, and he goes in after breaking the initial line of scrimmage untouched.
Well, you got to give credit to the fullback Reniger on that one, because he really kicked that defensive end outside. It allowed Dent to get out around the corner, and then he just had to beat the defensive line and linebackers to the sideline and get it down the field. So Reniger really threw the block that broke that one open for Dent.
Good speed by Dent. Once he gets into the open field, he's tough to catch. Going back for a two-point conversion pass is knocked down great by John Logterman, and it's no good. So with 4:06 to go in the third quarter, the Broncos tack on a touchdown. They lead it now 28-14. We'll be back with the Bronco kickoff right after this 30-second timeout. Well, right now, a couple of interceptions, about the only difference in this ball game right now, by Mike, is the Broncos up by a couple of touchdowns, both coming up after interceptions.
Yeah, 2 turnovers by the Cowboys now on interceptions around the 20 and the 2-yard line. Cody puts a couple of scores on the board afterwards, and it's 28-14.
There's a low kickoff picked up by John Logterman at the 30, and he returns it only to about the 32 or 3-yard line. So the Cowboys will again start with good field position with their offense, but they've got to avoid the turnovers as they've turned the ball over twice deep in Bronco territory, and that's pretty much the difference in this one. The Broncos up 28-14.
There's a couple guys on that front line there like Logderman that have some good speed. If they break across that initial surge, they could get a big gain on a return there.
Lane Ford give off the right side. This time the Bronco defense there with David Cray wrapping him up at 285, and also Travis Cooley at 210 assisting, both juniors for the Broncos. And I'll tell you what, this Mullen Bronco team has got to come into next season rated as one of the powers in D2 football next season, Mike, as they play mostly underclassmen.
Well, a 9-1 ball club with a lot of underclassmen, and they've got a lot of respect.
Second down and 9 for Osborne, going back looking for a receiver. Lane Ford is out there in the open, and he is hit just as he tries to bring that in on a good hit by Taylor Spencer as Lane Ford tipped it, was turning to make the catch, and he was laid out by Spencer.
That's going to ring your bell a little bit, but Ford's still in the ball game. Third down now and almost 10 to go, 9.5 yards. We're down to 3:23 to go in the third period for this quarterfinal game as Cody breaks the huddle, comes up, ready to go on 3rd and long.
3rd down and 9 as Osborne sets him down. Goes back looking for a receiver, throws it deep. Eric Johnson is out there, and he has it knocked away at the last minute on great defense by Travis Young. That's a catch that you see Eric Johnson make time and time again, but Johnson got a hand on it and knocked it away.
Johnson went up for the catch, and Young came from behind him there, just hacked the ball away from him. Good defensive move there, kept him from pulling it in before he got it all the way tucked in. Young got a hand on it or an arm across there and knocked it away. Now Lee Schneider's going to have to kick it away for the Cowboys.
4th down and 9 from the 33. Good snap, and it's a good kick. Coming down to Dent. He's going to let it land, and it gets a Cowboy roll. Inside the 15 to about the 12-yard line. So Lee Schneider gets a very good punt out of it. And the Broncos will have the long field at the 12-yard line. They're looking to get their power game going and just run the clock now with a 28-14 lead with 3:05 to go in the third quarter.
Well, we'll see what the Cody defense comes out. They're going to have to try to hold Mullen to 3 and out here. If they can do that and get the ball back, they should get the ball somewhere around the 30-40-yard line if they can force Mullen to kick from deep in their own territory.
Young from the 12-yard line goes back, fakes, bootleg, and the man was there but missed him. And Young is in the open field, but good closing speed by Eric Johnson drops him after a short gain on what looked like it was going to be a big one.
I think they're going to give him about 5-6 yards on that one. Just a scramble coming out of the backfield. And they'll give him 6 yards, brings up 2nd down and 4 yards to go. 2:42 and counting. Again, the clock now ticking in the third period against the Cowboys, down by 14 points. Need a defensive stand.
From about the 18-yard line, 2nd down and 4. This is Dent with the football, breaking tackles, getting up to near the 20-yard line. Short gain on the play. It's going to bring up 3rd down. And it looks like they're going to need about 2 yards.
You know, Dave, we've talked about the young squad from Mullen, but you also, Cade Buckiner playing a lot of football as a freshman for Cody-Kilgore, 165-pounder, and Cade came up to help on that one. He's not backing down from anybody out there as just a freshman. 3rd
down and a yard. Young sets him down now on the 3rd down play. Naked bootleg. They got him wrapped up for a loss. And they're going to have to punt the football from deep in their own territory.
And the playmaker that time was Tell Miller. Also, Brent Nollett came in there to help him out with a loss on the play and brings up 4th and a punt coming here for the Cowboys to get some good field position. Eric Johnson's going to be standing around his 30-yard line.
4th down and 4, and I'll bet you they try to punt this one out of bounds. They don't want anything to do with that speed. There's the kick. They do kick it away from Johnson, and it goes out of bounds at the 35-yard line of the Cowboys. So some great field position for the Cowboys as he kicks it out of bounds at the Cowboy 35-yard line. They don't want anything to do with Lane Ford or Eric Johnson returning the football.
1:21 to go here in the third period. 28-14, Mullen on top. The Cody offense coming out now as they try to just get a drive going here. They had a drive on their last possession, ended up in an interception, their 2nd of the game.
From the 35, Osborne gives to Ford, breaks outside, gets running room, cuts back inside, down to the 30-yard line and run out of bounds at the 29, gain of 17. And we have a penalty flag back at the line of scrimmage.
Back at about the 37-yard line, there's a penalty flag, and I don't know if that's going to be an illegal block.
That's usually in the area of holding, and that's going to cut down a 17-yard gain.
That's the 3rd penalty of the ball game against the Cowboys, and the holding is going to negate that big gain and bring them back down to about their own 27-yard line, it looks like.
So the Cowboys kind of making those mistakes, Mike, that you can't make in a quarterfinal football game.
No, you've got to play almost flawlessly when you get down to this point. When your opponent makes a mistake, you got to capitalize on it. That's what Mullen's been able to do thus far, is when they get a turnover, they make Cody pay for it. The Cowboys now got to eliminate their mistakes on 1st down and about 20 yards to go.
So instead of a 1st down inside the 30, they're back at their 28. Eric Johnson on the option, and he keeps the football, turns it upfield for about 5 or 6 yards on the carry.
Mullen stripped the ball away from Johnson. They thought that they were going to get a turnover there, but his knee was already down. The official blew it dead, and it's going to bring up 2nd down, about 12 yards to go out at the 34-yard line.
Cray made the tackle for the Broncos. It's going to be 2nd and 12 as they gain nearly 8 yards after the holding penalty.
You might see that reverse coming up here after a bit, Dave. They faked it a couple of times.
Eric Johnson at quarterback now on 2nd and 12. Fake, option, pitch to Ford. Ford cuts it back inside, not much there as the pursuit by the Broncos cut him down after a very short gain, maybe only a yard.
Gets about a yard out of that one. Good overall team speed by the Mullen Broncos that time. They read that option going to the right. The whole defense flowed that way. Nobody over pursued it, and as soon as the running back tried to cut back, they were right there to close the gap on him. Now here's Eric Johnson split to the left.
3rd down and 11. Lee Snyder and Lane Ford in the backfield now, and I'm not sure they're not lined up right, and they might have to take a timeout here.
And that's the end of the quarter, Dave.
End of the quarter, okay. 28-14. The Broncos lead the Cowboys by 2 touchdowns with 12 minutes to go in this D2 quarterfinal game from Mullen. We'll be back with more football in 30 seconds. From around their own 34-yard line, both teams put a touchdown on the board in that 3rd quarter.
You know, we may see, I don't know, you've got Eric Johnson out there split. You could run that reverse to him or running back there and throw a halfback pass from Eric Johnson as well.
3rd and 11. Osborne going back looking for a receiver. He lays it up for Eric Johnson. He's there, and he just stopped a little bit too short. He wanted to stop and try to out-jump the Bronco defense, but he didn't get back far enough, and the pass was over his head.
And the 3 speedsters, Young, Renninger, and Dent, were all back there into triple coverage on Johnson, trying to watch that long pass. That time it falls incomplete, brings up 4th and 11. Cowboys to kick it away.
Lee Snyder back to punt, and this one rolls to him, but he picks it up and gets a pretty good kick away from Dent, and it picked up by Dent at about the 8-yard line, and he's dropped at the 6 on a great tackle. That's Lane Ford. Got him where it counts, right at his feet. You don't break a tackle if you wrap up the feet, and they drop him at the 7-yard line. So there's a good open field tackle by Lane Ford.
Well, the speed of Lane Ford coming down that outside, he watched the fielding of that punt over toward the right-hand side, knew he was going to have time to get over there, and Steve Dent tried to get around Lane Ford, and you can't do that very easy. So deep in their own territory, here come the Broncos.
From the 7-yard line, here's a pitch to Dent. Dent looking for running room, doesn't find much, but then he does get up to about the 10. As he breaks a couple of tackles, they'll give him about 3 yards on the carry, maybe a little bit more than that. The Cowboys actually outscore the Broncos in that 3rd quarter, 8-6, but they still trail it by 2 touchdowns, 28-14. They were down 22-6 at the half.
2nd down and about 7.5 yards to go here. The ball is on the 10-yard line.
2nd down and a long 6 or short 7. Ball's on the ground. Young again drops it on the ground, no gain. And that, I believe, is the 5th fumble by the Broncos. They have yet to lose one.
They have been able to get back on top of all of them that they left on the turf. They've been paying attention to where the football's at, but sometimes they just can't seem to hang on to it. We have an official's timeout right now. I'm not quite sure what for. They pointed to the corner of the end zone, but now it looks like they're ready to go.
There's a big play again here in this early in the 4th quarter as the Broncos need 7 yards on this 3rd down play, or they're going to have to punt from their own end zone. Young, pitch play to Dent, looking back inside, and he's going to be hit short of the 1st down at the 15-yard line. But he does get about 5 of them, but it's going to be 4th down and about 2 yards to go.
Lane Ford was in there on the stop. Also, Lee Schneider getting up off the bottom of that pile. And I'll tell you what, it is hard to stop that Steve Dent with just 1 tackler.
4th and a yard, Young to kick. There's the kick, and it's a high one coming over to Eric Johnson at the 40. Makes one guy, no, he doesn't make one guy miss as he hangs on for dear life on a good tackle, and I think that's Taylor Spencer.
Taylor Spencer had him by 1 shoe, and that was about it, but he was hanging on for dear life. It kind of anchored Eric down there, and he couldn't get going, but still, Dave, they've got field position now across midfield into Mullen territory.
At the 37-yard line, the Cowboys with the short field now. With 10:05 to go in the ball game, they trail it by 2 touchdowns. Osborne at the quarterback gives it to Lane Ford, and boy, he tries to cut back against the grain, and all he does is run into a bunch of black as the Broncos there in their black uniforms with yellow helmets and yellow numerals shut him down in a big hurry.
Andrew Fullerton was over on the right side trying to open up a hole there. The running back Ford that time cuts back to the left, as he's had a lot of success doing, but that time the Mullen defensive line stayed home and shut him down.
Second down, Eric Johnson wide to the right. Here's a pitch play to Ford. Ford cuts back inside, and one guy wrapped him up, and I'll tell you what, Travis Young is playing a great defensive game as well as quarterback, because he has made 3 tackles on Ford that if he don't make, turn into touchdowns. And there was another one right there as Ford turned the corner, just starting to get his speed to work, and Young brings him down after a gain of about 5.
Cody-Kilgore takes a timeout, facing a 3rd and 5 with 9:12 to go in the game. 28-14 our score. Mullen on top of Cody-Kilgore. We'll be back with more football action right after this 30-second timeout.
Well, a very important 3rd down and 5 facing the Cowboys. If they're trying to cut into a 2-touchdown deficit, they're working from the Bronco 33-yard line. Cowboys take a timeout, split to the wide side. Eric Johnson, Osborne going back looking for a receiver. Lee Snyder has it. He has the first down inside the 25-yard line.
They're going to mark him out right about maybe a football length inside the 25-yard line. Great job by Lee Snyder to get that one out of the backfield on the play action pass.
And that was a tough catch because Osborne threw that football before Lee Snyder had made his turn. He makes the turn, and all of a sudden the football's there, but good hand reaction to bring that one in on short notice. First down from the 25-yard line. Lane Ford breaks outside to the 30 and down inside the 20 to the 18-yard line.
You know, Valentine football coach Mark Hagee explains this game as a game of high-speed collisions, and that's a lot of what's going on out there tonight. A lot of speed out of those running backs, but they meet each other in that backfield, and man, I'll tell you what, there's some big banging going on.
Second down and 4, a gain of 6 from the 25 to the 19. Osborne, again, same play. Ford crashing to near first down yardage as he's going to be spotted just short of the 15-yard line. And again, the Cowboys in that red zone.
So the Cowboys are threatening here again. I don't think you're going to see them go to the air right now. They've got down into this position before. They ended up with an interception, and I think they're going to try to keep it on the ground. They're running the ball fairly well. 3rd and a yard, they'll pick up the first down and then work at it from there.
Well, 3rd down and a yard. Eric Johnson at the quarterback. He pitches it. He's going to keep it on a sweep. Good block, and he's going to get down to the 10-yard line.
Give credit to Lee Schneider. He lined up in a slot to the right side or a wing to the right side. He cracked back down on the defensive end, pinned him in there. And then it was Lane Ford leading the way around for the quarterback, and they ended up picking up enough yardage for the first down at the, well, just inside the 10, so it'll be 1st and goal.
1st and goal from about the 9.5-yard line. Cowboys 9.5 yards from getting right back in this one. Here's a give to Ford. Ford can't find anybody, breaks outside, then he cuts back into the 5-yard line.
Lane Ford went off the left tackle that time, ran into a wall of defenders and his own guys, turned around, just spun off of everybody, avoided one tackler, and ends up picking up 4.5 yards down to the 5-yard line.
He cut that back inside, Mike, and it looked like if he'd have kept going outside with his speed, he might have scored. But he can see better on the field than I can. 2nd and goal from the 5-yard line. Here's the give. Lee Snyder on the dive play is down to the 2-yard line.
Good play that time. They took Lane Ford, ran him to the right, cut back on the counter dive play with Lee Schneider. He goes up the middle that time to the 2-yard line, where it'll be 3rd and goal from the 2.
3rd and goal from the 2-yard line now as the play comes in from Coach Juan.
We're down to 7:02.
It's going to be hard to move that big defensive front, but it's 3rd and 2. Osborne pitches it on a pitch play to Ford. Ford cuts back in, dives into the end zone, touchdown.
Touchdown for Cody-Kilgore, 2-yard plunge, and he dove in over there like a torpedo, shot into the end zone.
Boy, the Cowboys, a lot of adversity here with turnovers and penalties, but they have put themselves right back in this one with 6:53 to go in the ball game. They're down only 28-20, lining up for the 2-point conversion. Eric Johnson in the shotgun formation.
They need the 2-point conversion here.
Here he is, tries to get in. Now he's looking for a receiver, throws it, and it's knocked down incomplete. Just nothing happening there. The Bronco defense really good on that play as they flowed with the flow and had a lot of people in that end zone, and Eric Johnson didn't have anybody to throw to, but it's 28-20 as the Cowboys close within 8 points. We'll be back with the Cowboy kickoff in 30 seconds. The Valentine Livestock Auction also wants to wish good luck to the Mullen Broncos as well as the Cody-Kilgore Cowboys. Both of these teams in our area, and whichever one goes on will represent this part of the state well. The Broncos now clinging to a 28-20 lead with 6:53 to go here in the ball game.
Plenty of time left as Cade Vakiner kicks it away.
And he kicks it deep to Dent. Dent's going to pick it up on the bounce at the 12, back to the 15, goes right up the middle of the field, wide open field, but then a tackle that saves a touchdown by Brent Nollett.
Nollett just kind of had to square things up, and I'll tell you, with Steve Dent running directly at you, the way he can shift around and speed and his center of gravity, it's kind of hard to make an open field tackle on that young man, but he's able to do it. Nollett brings him down.
The Broncos, though, with great field position out at their own 38-yard line, as they'll try to run the clock and run the football and nurse the 8-point one-touchdown lead. Dent on the sweep, nailed right at the 40-yard line by Eric Johnson. He falls forward to about the Cowboy 39.
Johnson shot in there, tripped him up. He's going to get a couple of yards. And then Lee Schneider was there to make sure he's down just across the 40-yard line to the 39 of the Cowboys.
Second down and about 8 yards to go at the Cowboy 39-yard line. Young gives to Renninger, I should say, right up the middle. He's only going to have a couple of tough yards as Mooney is in there, along with Fish, I believe, number 89.
Wasn't much of a hole to run to that time as the play called for him to come right up between center and guard, and the Cowboys had stacked it up inside.
Third down and 5. The Cowboys on defense. The Broncos at the 37-yard line of the Cowboys on the third down 5 play. Power run formation. Young gives it to Dent. Dent tries to find it, and then he fumbles the football, and I think the Cowboys have it.
That time
he was trying to get extra yards, and he coughed up the football and that time the fumble catches up with the Broncos.
Well, you mentioned it earlier. I think that's the 6th time that they've laid the football down on the ground, the only time that they've lost it, and Cody has some new life with 5:40 to go in the game.
And they're working from their own 33-yard line with a chance for a drive to tie it up. Osborne gives to Ford, breaks outside, trying to get outside, cuts back in, breaks into the opening, breaks 3 tackles, and he is going to score.
I'll tell you what, Lane Ford left 4 Broncos in a pile, and he comes scooting out of there, and he romps that one 47 yards for the score.
And we have a 2-point game with 5:28 to go.
I guess that shows why Lane Ford is an all-district running back.
Lane Ford cuts back inside, breaks 2 or 3 tackles, and he breaks into the clear, and the only chance to catch him was Stephen Dent. He was right on his heels, but couldn't catch him.
One of the few times that Dent and Young back there weren't able to get to the play.
Big 2-point conversion to try to tie it up. Eric Johnson in the shotgun formation.
And the Cowboys having some problems getting their formation set.
And now they do. Eric Johnson snaps the football. Penalty flags are down. Eric Johnson throws it back across grain, no good. And unless this is a dead ball foul, the Broncos will remain with the 28-26 lead.
We'll see what the referee gives us a signal.
The Cowboys maybe should have called a timeout because they had 3 or 4 players out of position on the play, and it might be a dead ball foul, so if it is, they'll get to try it over again. It's illegal substitution, I believe, is the call.
Well,
they'll decline that, so the Broncos will remain with the 2-point lead, 28-26, with still 5:28 to go in the ball game. We'll be back with the Cowboy kickoff right after this 30-second timeout. That's true.
Somebody coming over the sideline. Wasn't in the huddle.
Probably somebody broke the huddle before he was off.
Well, we got 5.5 minutes to go in this ball game, and it's up for grabs yet. The Broncos lead it 28-26 over the Cowboys.
Well, you were right, Dave. The Cowboys should have taken a timeout there. They were having some problems getting lined up on the PAT. Probably should have taken a timeout.
Cade Vakiner on an onside kick. It's recovered by Lee Snyder, but he was inside the 10 yards that it has to go.
He picked it up at about the 8 or 9 yards downfield. It's got to go 10 yards to be an onside kick. So that penalty is going to be against the Cowboys here. And I think that Mullen will have the option of taking the ball where it's at.
Lee Snyder, he was right on that football, but it looked like he got it at about 9 yards, and it's got to go 10 yards before the Cowboys can touch it.
So let's see if we're going to kick it over again.
Yep, illegal touching or whatever, but the Broncos will take the penalty. I believe they have to take the penalty, and they have them kick it over again, or can they take it at the spot? They're still discussing it.
I'm not sure. They haven't moved the football from the 37-yard line of the Mullen Bronx, but both teams are back in their huddles. It looked like Cody was going back.
I don't think they have to kick it over. I think they get it right where it was touched, and they move it a foot inside the 40-yard line. So Lee Snyder was a foot too early in recovering that onside kick. The Broncos at the midfield stripe now. 1st and 10. Here's a pitch to Dent on the sweep. Cuts back inside, breaks tackles, and is down at the 33-yard line. A good, tough run by Stephen Dent.
Dave, the intensity of this ball game has not let up from the very first snap.
I'll tell you, these two teams are going to be very sore at the end of this night. And the Cody-Kilgore Cowboys have showed how come they have won their last 4 ball games, as the Broncos blew them out 44-20 in their regular season game. Young, quick to Reniger, right up the middle. He'll have the first down, as the Broncos now feel like they're threatened and they're really firing off the football.
4:52 to go in the ball game. It's a 2-point spread, 28-26, as Mullen picks up a big first down. Reniger takes the ball up the middle. They're going to do a great job now. They're trying to hang on to that ball with both hands.
Reniger at the 26-yard line has the first down.
They don't want to take the chance of dropping that on the turf again.
Young from the 26 now takes a snap, fakes, naked bootleg, and they had him in the backfield. Let him get away. He's still loose to the 15-yard line.
Coming over to make the stop for the Cowboys that time, number 66, Jerry Mooney, from a tackle on the left side. A big gain in there for the quarterback. He slipped down in the backfield. Cowboys almost had him down there, but he kept a hand down in his balance. Young picks himself back up again, and off he goes for, well, what seems to be a first down, but they're going to measure it now.
Travis Young has made a couple of unbelievable plays. When you thought he was dead to rights in a sack position, comes out, makes a 10-yard gain, and it's first down from the 15, well, just about the 16-yard line now for the Broncos, and they lead it by 2 points, 28-26, with 4:25 to go in the ball game and the clock running.
And you can bet that Mullen will use that clock now. They're going to try to take all the time off they can before they take the snap. So as they come up over the ball, it's down to 4:13 as Young goes under center.
From the 16-yard line, oh, there's movement in the backfield. That's a dead ball foul, and it'll back up 5 yards. Reniger came in motion a little bit too quick, and it'll cost the Broncos 5 yards. From the 16 back to about the 21.
So that's going to back them up a little bit. It's still going to be first down, though. They just have 1st and 15. They've come up with some real big plays throughout this ball game to keep things going. And 2-point lead right now, 4:06 as the clock stopped on the penalty.
21-yard line, or just outside the 20. It's first down and 15 for the Broncos. Young sets him down, power formation. Reniger, the ball carrier, and I'll tell you what, Lee Snyder nailed him right at the line of scrimmage. He might have got a yard.
Lee Schneider put the stop on him right there. A couple of other Cowboys come to help out. Nollet was one of those guys, and he's going to get maybe a yard out of that, and that's going to be all. But good tackle right in there as the Cowboys show some blitz.
2nd down and 14 yards to go now for the Broncos. 3:30 to go in the ball game. Broncos threatening and with a 2-point lead. Pitch to Dent. Dent cuts it back inside, looking for running room, and he's stacked up at about the 15-yard line as the Cowboys really stack him up with about 3 or 4 of them right there. Mooney was there. Also is number 89 for the Cowboys, of course, is Trent Fish. And we have a timeout called with 3:16 to go in the ball game. We'll be back with more football after this 60-second timeout. Zach, cut this one off right after the Farm Credit ad. Don't do my jingle on it, okay? Third down and 10 as Young pitches to Dent on the sweep. He cuts back against the grain and isn't going to get much. In fact, he's hit right at the line for no gain. It'll be 4th down and still about 10 yards to go.
Logderman and Nollet in on the stop that time. Logderman was the first one to make contact, wrapped him up good. Nollet comes over to help out. 4th and a long 9 now for the Broncos. 2:53 to go. The clock is still running.
Coach Brown calls the play from the sideline. They're going on 4th and 11 here. If they don't get it, the Cowboys will have some desperation tries yet with about 2 minutes to go, but it's 4th and 9. Going back to pass is Young, looks into the end zone, throws it back there. It's intercepted in the end zone, and the Cowboys still are alive.
Are they in the end zone, or are they going to put it back on the 1-yard line?
No, it'll come out, Mike.
Come out to the 15. It was in the end zone. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Cody-Kilgore Cowboys at their own 15-yard line with 2:31 to go.
Well,
and with the speed Cody has had so far in the ball game, if they break a couple of big plays, they could change the lead here.
It's 28-26, 2:31 to go, and it's crunch time for both of these schools here at Mullen. Osborne gives to Ford, and he is stacked up. They wrap him up good this time, and he doesn't get an inch. Maybe, well, they might give him a yard. But boy, the Broncos are looking for Lane Ford now.
And Cody working against the clock. Their quarterback, Ben Osborne, has to go to the sideline and get the play. So he's hustling back and forth, trying to keep it going.
2nd and 9, back split from the 16. Osborne looking for a receiver. Throws it short, incomplete. Tries to hit Lane Ford, but he was getting a big rush. And Ford had a couple of big guys out there on him as that play goes incomplete. Cowboys now down to their last couple of plays to try to pull this one out.
Ben Osborne, just a sophomore in there at quarterback in a big game. A lot of pressure on this young man. The incomplete pass, though, stops the clock at 1:59.
3rd and 9 from the Cowboys' 16-yard line. Single setback, wide out Johnson. They're looking for Johnson. He throws it far as he can. Erickson out there, and he drops the football.
The 30-yard line of the Mullen Broncos. Coach Duke Wan is down on a knee on the sideline. It was there. Eric can't reel it in, and it brings up 4th and 9 yards to go. The Cowboys are going to have to give it one more shot here.
Eric Johnson was laid out at the 25-yard line, and he had both hands on it, and it just falls to the ground. A game of inches. That was TD all over it.
1:52 to go here in the ball game.
It's 4th down and 11, or 4th and 9, excuse me, and this may be the final shot for the Cowboy offense.
Johnson wide to the left again.
Osborne goes back. Again, throwing deep for Johnson, and it's going to be intercepted by Reniger at the 35. Back to the 40 and dropped by Lane Ford at the 33-yard line.
Another interception late in the ball game here on a desperation pass. Intercepted by Reniger that time, and it returns
Al, we've got to have our hats off to Osborne, though, because he laid it right on the money to Eric Johnson the play before, and Eric just couldn't bring it in. And this one is just has to kind of throw up in desperation, and it's picked off by Reniger. And now the Broncos trying to run out the clock with a 2-point lead at the Cody 33-yard line.
And Young is going to take
pitch to Dent. Dent breaks into the open for a moment, falls forward to about the 28-yard line, and a timeout taken by the Cowboys with 1:32 to go. We'll be back with more football here from Mullen after this 30-second timeout.
Oh, that first pass to Eric was perfect. Jeez.
He catches it as touchdown.
Man, yeah, because he would have strided that one out to the end zone. It's too bad.
Well, the Cowboys turned it over a couple times in the red zone. They were just every bit as good. It's a good ball game. Well, it's been a barn burner here, Mike. The 5-5 Cody-Kilgore Cowboys still holding their heads high, trailing it by just 2 points, but the Mullen Broncos just trying to set on the football, and they'd be tickled to death with a 2-point win here and move on to the semifinals.
It doesn't matter how big you win as long as you win in these rounds.
2nd and 6, Young has it, gives to Reniger right up the middle, and he's dropped after a very short gain down to around the 21-yard line. But the clock running now, as I don't believe the Cowboys have any more timeouts left, with 1:18 to go, clock running, and the Broncos taking a lot of time on a 3rd down and 3 play from about the 26-yard line.
Well, they're going to use up as much clock as they can before they snap the ball.
I don't think there's enough time left for the Cowboys to get the offense back on the field, even if they do run out of downs. It's 3rd down here and 3. Young gives to Dent. Dent is hit after a short gain to about the 19. He's still going to be short of the 1st down, but we're running out of time. 40 seconds to go. Clock is running. It is 4th down and a yard, but I think the Broncos will just try to sneak this one out and sneak away with the victory here on their home field at Mullen as the clock continues to run with 25 seconds to go. And Travis Young comes out and stands by the official, meaning he wants a timeout with 1 second left on the before the delay of game penalty, and that comes with 16 seconds to go in the game. Mullen leads at 28-26 in a timeout. We'll take a break too and be back in 30 seconds.
Okay.
This is KVSH Radio, Valentine, Nebraska, bringing you Cowboy and Bronco football on Heart City Radio this evening. Hope you enjoy the broadcast, and be sure and thank all the sponsors for bringing you this football game. But it's just about to end. 4th down and a yard for the Broncos with just 16 seconds to go, and they're at the 24-yard line. Young pitches it back to Dent. Dent is dropped for a loss, and they will not get the 1st down, and the Cowboys will have a couple of shots left. About the time you think it's done, Mike, the Cowboys come up with a big stop at the 25-yard line. They have no timeouts and 12 seconds left in the ball game.
Well, as they say, it's not over till the fat lady sings, and I don't see her around here yet.
They all look pretty thin around here.
12 seconds left to go in the game.
Osborne out of the shotgun, triple set to the near side of the field. Osborne lets it fly, and they've got triple coverage back there, and it's batted down. There's still 5 seconds to go. They had 4 people 20 yards deep in the secondary.
Batting it down, Kyle Phillips, first time we've seen him in the ball game there. Phillips is a 140-pound junior, He's playing a safety back at about the 25-yard line of the Mullen Broncos as they look like they're ready to return a punt rather than defend against the pass here.
One more Hail Mary for the Cowboys here. Triple wide set to the near side, and the snap is over Osborne's head, and he is going to have to fall on it, and the game is over. The Mullen Broncos, in a barn burner here at Mullen, have defeated the Cowboys by a score of 28-26.
Well,
we'll be back right after this 30-second timeout.